Holly Herndon is an American composer and audio technologist working out of Berlin. Her work is characterized as being highly experimental and unusual and is focused on computer based sound manipulation, but incorporates singing quite often. She's released 3 studio albums and 2 EPs. Her first EP was in 2011. Her most recent album was in 2019, as I record this in 2025. Her work with AI has included Spawn, which was an AI singer that was meant to be able to mimic other singers, and Holly Plus, which is a deep fake of her own voice that people could send in stuff to be sung by this deep fake for their own use. She's done traditional concerts and art exhibitions and installations, and she's been involved in curating permission to use source art for generative AI systems. Hi, my name is Dan, and this is a review of the album Platform by Holly Herndon, which was released in 2015 and was her second studio album. It's my first time listening to her at all, my first encounter with her, and I was instantly pretty impressed. So I think my best description of this probably is electronic sound collage. It's a lot of stuff going on at once, and it's computer processed sounds. The opening clip that I put at the beginning of the review should give you an idea, and that's kind of indicative of pretty much most of the album, although different tracks have different feels and different stuff going on, of course. There's lots of sounds, there's lots of processing. It's very granular, meaning it does a lot over time. There's lots of micro sounds. There's some noises, but there's some tuned noises, and there's some voice, predominantly female voice. I don't know how much of it is hers. Quite a lot of fast punching in and out, so as if somebody's singing or there's some music going on and there's someone's got a switch and they're going on the switch, making it really fast. So that gives you bursts of stuff coming through. And then there's also quite a thing that happens quite a lot, which is kind of twittery, crackly sounds, or sounds that for some reason made me think of like slices of something like metal, or like that. It's just really unusual sounds, and there's several layers going on. Mostly, though, despite all this and all the kind of weirdness and sound experimentation, there's, for most tracks, a very definite rhythm or beat to it. At times, getting into the realm where it could be danceable, it got me kind of going a bit at times. And it's also predominantly clearly musical. So it has chord sequence going on and almost tunes at points. And I would say if you can embrace the weirdness of the sound here, or suspend any objections you've got to it, and just kind of pull back a little bit, it's definitely music. It's electronic music. It's just got some weird, very weird stuff going on. It's more musical, I would say, than several other extremely experimental electronic audio things that I've heard. As I said, there's quite a bit of female vocals. I don't know how much is her own voice. I know that Will Self, who's an actor of some kind, is involved in one of the tracks. Sometimes there's even words that you can understand and that you can pick out, but quite often it's so snatched up that you're kind of getting hints of it, but you're not quite getting enough. Not sure if any of them are actually about anything much. I think it's more about the feel and the textures that's going on. There's one track that is different from all the others. It does have some sound effects, but mostly it's a spoken monologue. It's not Holly, it's somebody whose name I've just forgotten, but that's fine. And it's done from the perspective or the pretext that the listener is a powerful person having something that may be a massage or some kind of a appointment for something like that. Now, apparently, it's designed to instill a thing called ASMR, which is a pleasant tingling sensation down the neck and upper back. So I didn't know this in my first listen, and I didn't notice anything in my first listen particularly. What I do is I listen, read, listen. So I found this out in the read. And when I was listening to it in my second listen, I was thinking, not sure, am I feeling that? And as soon as I start thinking about it, I think I can feel that sensation going on. So I'm not sure whether, when I think about it, it's something that is triggered, or whether it's the right thing, whether I'm actually got the right sensation or not, or I don't know if it's some kind of auto-suggested thing for me that I'm kind of having this feeling just because I'm thinking that it could be there. So I don't know. I will try and have that as the bit that I play out at the end of this video. But if you're interested in this, go out and find that track and listen to it. It's did I say what it was called? It's called something back at the top. Let me just check. Sorry, I've got something else. Lonely at the top. Um, I'd love to know from anybody who has this experience through this track. Please do leave me a comment. Or if you tried it and you didn't really feel anything, again, please tell me. Back to the album as a whole, though, not just that track. Overall, the whole feel is complex. It's quite clean. It brings me in mind of like a white laboratory or kind of pristine bits in the game Portal, or that sort of space. It's got a rich sonic palette and obviously some unusual stuff going on. The overall feel is playful, I would say, rather than any kind of aura of artistic significance. It's about, oh, look, this is interesting. Look what I can do here. Let's just, do something fun with it. And it feels fun. It did. In terms of the aesthetic of it, it reminded me of another album, which was 30 years ago. So it's an album that I reviewed. I chose to review it on the channel about a week ago. Who's Afraid of the Art of Noise by The Art of Noise, and it was a Dan's pick, and I kept being reminded of it because it feels like it's got a similar kind of ethos, similar musical ethos, and kind of choice of the things that, particularly the speech bits that are going in, and the approach. But of course, the technology here is 30 years in advance. And so there's much more complex stuff going on. The Art of Noise was just about sampling, basically. But it weirdly reminded me of it. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. It's a great album. It's my kind of experimental. It's weird, but it's interesting, and it's got a pleasing aesthetic. And that, I think, I'm learning is the important thing for me when something's weird. Is that is it a sound that I enjoy? And in this one, very much so. Yes, so cool. Pretty high mark I'm giving this. But that's just my opinion. It's just humble me. I'd love to know what your opinion is. So please really let me know by leaving me a comment. But that's it from me for now.
Welcome. Please don't worry about being late for the appointment. Clients like you are our top priority. We feel so lucky you chose us. Yes,